Welcome ladies and gentlemen to today's installment of Majin Starcraft, and we have LiquidTLO in the purple trunks versus FXOmOoNan in the red trunks. Both Terran, Metalopolis, very close locations, 6 o'clock and the 8 o'clock positions, and let's get ready to rumble, because the Royal Rumble last night sucked and I'm really pissed off at myself for not casting a TLO series. Anyway, TLO, the little one, we know him because crazy builds, and if you actually think about it, they're not really that crazy. They are just unorthodox, but really effective. Moonan, I'm sorry to say I'm not familiar with, so we'll see if he is a match for TLO in this game. Will he be? I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm personally hoping he is. Scout for Moonan. Moonan actually going the wrong way, going to scout clockwise, so TLO will be discovered very late. TLO securing a barracks, Moonan securing a barracks as well. The only difference, Moonan actually going for a wall-in. So, nothing really out of the ordinary for the moment. But anything can change in these types of matches, especially any game involving TLO. Because of the positioning, air raids will certainly come into play. We might see drops, we might see Banshee play. I haven't seen a good Banshee play in quite a while. Hey, I can dream, can I? And the scout for TLO luckily will actually find Moonan. Even with the delayed scouting time, LiquidTLO is the first to get the scout. Gonna find the barracks, gonna see that everything is hunky-dory. No, nothing really special, only one gas, so probably we might see some kind of tech buildings very early on. One gas for TLO as well, getting a orbital command to increase his income. One marine out for TLO and one marine out probably for Moonan. Everything is very similar. Production tab is probably a clone of itself at the moment. Then yes, everybody bringing up the exact same thing, exact same builds, mules, orbital commands, identical for the moment, and TLO opting to go for a factory and Moonan opting to go for a factory. So you might see a very cloney battle right here on Metalopolis between TLO and Moonan. I've been saying their name so much. Nothing really weird to say out at the moment, but right now it seems that we have a 1-1-1 build. However, TLO has a little bit of a strange positioning for the factory. This might mean that he might decide to scout with this and get a starport and actually get those Banshees I wanted. Oh, Moonan on the other hand has a in-base factory, not hiding it, and there's that starport for TLO. There's that starport hidden right here, and now gonna land on the down lane. Wonder why will he pump out Hellions? Yes, he will actually try to distract Moonan with Hellions, while he's probably gonna go Banshees. Moonan opting to go for Marines. Now, Hellions actually are pretty good against Marines, as long as microed correctly, as long as there are a lot of them. The problem is, we'll only have 1 Hellion and 5 Marines even more. Moonan actually having a starport on the way, and it's only a little bit behind TLO's. And Moonan's factory is actually going for a tech lab. So Moonan might go for Banshees first because there's a medevac. A medevac for TLO, very strange. So he's not opting to go for Banshees, and we have 3 Marines here. Here we go, 3 Marines, Hellions, so identical builds. There's an SCV, and here we have a big encounter. Here comes the SCV to do a little bit of damage. SCV is dead. A little bit of nice micro from TLO, saving the 1 Hellion and keeping, but sadly losing the other. Winning that encounter with 1 low HP Hellion and 2 Marines. So Moonan did lose a little bit that encounter. In response to that, he is laying down a bunker. Here comes a siege tank and opting to go for Vikings. The dropship, is the dropship here? I have no, yep, here comes the dropship and here comes the drop. Viking is almost up, and that will be pretty big, because once the Viking is up, that means that the medevacs will go down pretty fast, unless you can shoot the Viking down, which will not happen with only 2 Marines. And here we have a siege tank versus 2 marines. Even with the supply backup, medevac will not win, and the medevac will actually fall. There is this Hellion who has managed to get off. Let's see, these 2 Hellions, how many kills? 0 and 3. 1 and 3. I don't know how many of those are SCVs, but remember, 1 Hellion dies now, but 1 Hellion was a hero from that early on battle. And now this Hellion is trapped inside Moonan's base. If TLO wants to keep it alive, he's gonna have to micro it. Meanwhile, still keeping on top of his macro, securing a tech lab, another Hellion, and a couple of marines. However, he cannot bring those marines inside Moonan's base. And Moonan's tank finally killing off that Hellion. Very nice indeed. So TLO opts to go for an expansion. No second expansion as of yet for Moonan. Moonan opting to play siege tech, play defensively. I don't know if this is such a good plan against TLO, especially once TLO's economy kicks in from the second base. He'll really be able to do some real damage. Armory, which I didn't comment on earlier, could only mean, yes, the Thor. So, Thor drop. 1 medevac, 1 Thor right here, so a Thor drop will be nice. I do not know, and there's an expansion on the way for Moonan. Will he get it up in time? I don't know. I do not know. TLO's is almost complete. And here comes a little bit of marine action, probably, to see if he can harass the base. And there's a Banshee on the way for Moonan. The Banshee, yeah, the Banshee will be nice. However, the Thor will easily counter that. It's a Thor. And here it comes, the Thor. It's sad to say, TLO doesn't have Collector's Edition. Sadly. Why doesn't he have the Collector's Edition? A better model for the Thor would have been nice here. And here comes the Thor. Bombardment here. And now the tank gets actually bombarded. The tank is actually doing a little bit of damage. All those SCVs trying to repair the siege tank. The Thor is actually doing damage. Picking up the Thor. Trying to shoot. Oh, good. Very smart. Picking up the Thor and dropping it right next to the siege tank. Removing the siege ability. And now it's siege versus Thor. And the Thor actually does a little bit of damage. Doing a lot of kills. 6 kills. How many kills will it get? Nope. That's it. 6 kills. Picking it up. Running away. Banshee can't do anything about it. Gonna drop the Thor. Picking it up. Very nice indeed. Dropping pick. Very nice. Oh, second tank, get out of here. Dropping the Thor. Now TLO knows he has to get out of there. Moonan losing a tank, losing a couple SCVs. Thor is still alive. Great play by TLO. Unit wise, unit stats, we have only one Banshee, 2 siege tanks, 2 marines for Moonan, and 1 mule. On the other side of the map, we have 1 Hellion. And here are the Banshees fighting. The Banshee is actually trying to fight the Marines, and oh, killing off quite a couple of Marines there. Well, actually only 1 Marine, but bringing the rest in the range of the siege tank, and the Hellion. The Banshee is now getting repaired. Getting now a Viking probably to defend that Hellion, and to try and snipe off the medevac while it's carrying Thors. There is that scan. There's also a defending Viking for TLO, so TLO is opting to actually defend his own Viking. A missile turret to defend against any kind of drops for Moonan. Moonan finally opting to spread out his expansion. Gonna try and lay down a bunker. The siege tank is in position to defend the expansion, and the Hellion is right out of reach, but the Hellion, very nice, putting these SCVs on the bottom minerals and gonna snipe off 1 SCV probably. 1 SCV is gonna go down. Will it go down? Yep, this SCV is gonna go down. This Hellion is in a perfect position just outside the range to get a couple of kills. He right now has 2 kills, 3 kills, very nice indeed, still doing a little bit of damage. It's right on the outer edge of that, and here comes the, oh, and poor little, TLO hasn't repaired that Thor. Why? Bringing in a very low health Thor, and here are a lot of Marines gonna probably shoot down this Thor. The Thor is gonna shoot down the Thor, picking it up and dropping it again. Gonna shoot off again. Here comes a mule to repair the Thor. Very nice indeed. Very nice indeed. And there we go. He had the repair, and now the mule is actually gonna repair the Thor, and the Thor harass will continue. The risk right now is a lot of units for Moonan. Here comes Moonan with Marines. The Banshee gonna pick up the Thor. No, the Thor falls. The Thor falls, and the poor mule didn't have time to repair. So Marines, tanks, and a Banshee finally defeating TLO's expansion. However, TLO's Thor. However, economy-wise, TLO has keeping up on his macro. He has his fully saturated base. A couple of SCVs idle here, securing probably a 3rd now, very, very soon. So his economy is flooring. However, he's only mining gas off of 2 positions, and I believe one of them isn't fully saturated. Nope, they're fully saturated. Why is... No, I'm sorry, I was actually looking at Moonon's gas. No, that's right, Moonon is only mining off of 2 gas, and this one is not fully saturated, this one is missing an SCV, and this one as well, I believe. So he's not fully mining, and here's a drop from Moonan. Moonan dropping a couple of Marines, but the Marauder build for TLO. TLO has a lot of Marauders from all these barracks, transitioning from the Thor build, which is a little bit gas intensive, into a Marauder build, which is not so gas intensive, but he does have enough minerals to do some damage. And here we go, steaming up Marauders against Marines. Marines versus Marauders. Who will win? Gee, I wonder will the Marauders win, especially with backup medevacs. And here comes a drop for Moonan. However, Moonan cannot come in there. Here come TLO's Vikings. TLO's Vikings gonna shoot down the medevac, gonna drop the medevac. Yes, a lot of Marines died in that drop. Only 2 making out of there alive, and feeling very lucky that the medevac managed to drop them in time. Moonan securing a third of his own. So it's gonna be very, very close right now. If we look at the units lost tab, of course TLO is ahead by about double. And TLO, now here's a drop for TLO. We have 2 tanks and a lot of Marauders and 2 more tanks. So 4 tanks and 2 Marauders. And 4 tanks and 4 Marauders. Here comes a drop. Get out of there, medevac. Yes, one medevac getting out in time. Gonna take out the missile turret, and now the medevacs can heal. Siege tank sieging up, and now TLO is in a great position to plow inside the base. The tank for Moonan has fallen. SCV Rage not gonna do so much, because very nicely indeed TLO is backing off and letting his tanks do a lot of damage. The Marine Marauder ball for Moonan is not so efficient. Now the Marauders for TLO have fallen, and now the siege tank will fall. So TLO has been stopped by a couple of Marines and a lot of SCVs. However, if we look at the income, 34 harvesters, huge economical hit right there for Moonan to take. TLO being very good play indeed, and gonna try and drop again. Nope, not unable to drop, and this medevac will fall. Will it fall? Will it manage to get the... Nope, all those units dying, all those poor Marines dying inside that medevac, being blown out of the sky. So Moonan is in a very bad position right now. Despite very similar initial builds, TLO has managed to be ahead right now because of that great Thor play and great harassment. He has transitioned in from Thor into exactly what he's needed. Marine Marauder, initially Marauders and a couple of tanks to try and get the advantage. He did manage to deal a great economical hit. If we look at the units lost tab, now making over 2,500 mineral difference in the mineral loss tab, so that is a huge hit this early on in the game. Well, we're not really early on, we're at a 17-minute mark, but considering that both players haven't lost that much, this 2,000 resource difference could be very devastating, especially with the economical hit Moonan took. This base is a little bit oversaturated. Moonan trying to secure his defenses, not being able to secure his expansion. The orbital command is just flying. Meanwhile, TLO is just expanding and just, you know, frog expanding. I'll build one base, then build another command center. Build one base and they'll build another command center, and so on and so forth. Right now he's on 2 base because his main is completely, well, almost mined out, and soon he'll have his 3rd up, and there's big Marine Marauder ball with a couple of siege tanks moving out for TLO across the map. Food-wise, I wonder who's ahead. TLO with 177 over 103. TLO doing great when it comes to macro. He's almost maxed out. I think he's actually supply blocked at the moment. Sure is. Is the production tab having any units? Yes, it does have any units. Level ground weapon level 1, vehicle level 1, infantry armor level 1. And here is the fight for TLO, laying down the tanks on the low ground and using the high ground army to spot, shooting everything. However, doing a lot of damage. A couple of TLO's tanks have died there. However, Moonan is caught out completely out of position. His defenses are spread out and not able to deal with TLO's army. TLO's army is split but has been able to move together. Half on the cliff, half on the low ground, doing great damage. And now TLO is inside the main, and I don't believe Moonan can fight off against this. I believe this is the end of the game. He right now, if we look at the units tab, he only has 16 Marines, and 16 Marines will not be able to deal with 21 Marines, 4 tanks, 2 Vikings, 6 medevacs, and not to mention 19 Marauders. The entire main of Moonan right now is dying. Here come SCV Rage, but nothing of the sort's gonna last against this army, and Moonan just calls the GG. So yeah, there it is. TLO dominating the entire game. Nothing to be taken away from Moonan because he did manage to stop TLO, just not being able to stop him that effectively. So Moonan hats off to you to play in the same league with TLO and doing such a great, well, not necessarily, doing a great job of lasting up against TLO. And thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.